We're back again with some very familiar sounding music. How many times is this theme going to be reused across the NES? This is Millipede. This specific version is developed by HAL Laboratory and published by HAL America, although it was originally not so, I believe. This is the sequel to Centipede, which, as of right this moment, has not appeared on the NES. Now, what's the first main problem with playing Millipede on the NES? Well, the original arcade game used a trackball. Obviously, we have no such thing. Now, if this were a Master System game, you could, I guess, pull out the Sega Sports Pad, and if they would have supported that, then that would have been great. But I don't believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there was ever actually a trackball add-on for the NES of any kind, despite there being multiple games that definitely could have benefited from it. But let's just hop right into it here. We'll play one-player game A. Now, you all know how I feel about the arcade games. They're okay, but I, for the most part, do prefer a nice little game where it's a little more level-based here, which is certainly not the case with Millipede. This is strictly just arcade. We're getting harassed by the spider. Okay, we're getting harassed by everything. There's a ladybug there, which has made everything horrible. I gotta get my bearings here. I'm not good at Centipede or at Millipede, and this is Millipede, so we continue to not be very good at it here. Apparently, there are... Ooh, I see. Those are explosive barrels that aren't barrels at all. I was gonna say, why does it say DDT? You could Jake the Snake out here to DDT a Millipede or something? Man, there's a lot going on in here. Alright, so I don't think I've actually played Millipede before. I think I've only played Centipede. Wow, rip me. Well, we got no bonus for sure. Just an immediate game over. Made it to round 5 will be. But from what I can tell, yes, a lot more goes on in Millipede than in Centipede, which I know should be obvious because it is a sequel. But not all sequels are created equal, you know? I'm not going to break into Steiner math for you or anything like that, but as great as that would be. Man, those flies that come down at me from above, they have been giving me what for. Oh, that's right, we can in fact go up and down. Okay. Forgot that the Y-axis was in fact open to you in this game. Hence the need for the trackball, I suppose, and not just a, come on, man. Hence the need for the trackball and not just a, little spinner, you know, like the Arkanoid controller. Okay, we're fine. We're safe. I don't know what's going on. You say that's not the bonus, is it? No. Of course it's not. Alright. The spider do be worth some points, though. I mean, look at that. That's a respectable amount of points there. Maybe that's... Yeah, okay, we got a bonus. I think that... Does that just mean an extra life? Because I did get an extra life there. That's right. Going up and down means that the Millipede making to the bottom of the screen is not necessarily guaranteed instant death. We have set a new high score for ourselves here, so we're the greatest Millipede player of all time. And I got stuck on a mushroom, which caused a game over. We only made it to round 6, but we did score considerably more than our previous attempt here. So, I mean, that's what this episode is gonna be, you know? What else am I gonna do in the meantime? I don't know, tell you how my day went? What else do I do? Ah, come on. I've really gotta get better at paying attention to where the spider is, because I think I died of the spider more than I died of anything else. Anyway, it was an up and down kind of day. Work was bad. It was just a straight up bad day of work. But did rally it all off with finally getting my my driver's license renewed with an updated address on it, since I am in a new house now and have been for some months. But still, you know, it was difficult getting into the DMV during the pandemic. We had to place an appointment there. Of course, nowadays you can just go in. They're finally reopened, but you're certainly not when we went there. At this point now, yeah, that's all taken care of, and the rest of the day was not so bad. Went to a lovely sushi place where they had all you can eat, which you know, I actually haven't been to an all you can eat sushi place before, so that was kind of like a brand new day to me. Like my eyes were opened to the secrets of the world. It was a wonderful thing indeed. I think that by not focusing so much and just by just ranting here, I'm already performing better in this. So maybe that is the special secret to Millipede. Give me just one moment, please. Thank you for the brief patience here. I mean, that meant nothing for you because I paused the recording. It was nothing. Didn't even get in your way. But yeah, by not paying attention, I'm performing better. Go figure, right? Okay, the flower cannot be destroyed. I've been crushed by a dragonfly. Okay, I get you. Do we actually get points for destroying the mushrooms? I don't know. I don't believe so. I think you you get like 1 point. I shouldn't have been so fixated on that then, you know? It just caused the spiders to come in hot. I wonder how many rounds of Millipede there are. Like how much would you have to master this to see the final round? There are 2 digits there. Is it straight just like 99 rounds of Millipede? Or is it like a Tetris thing where there's like a theoretical human limit? Where it technically goes further, but you're never going to see it because you're a human being. We did set a new high score yet again though, which is just great. I'm gonna start a little celebration about that here. Join my Millipede high score party, where we all talk about the highest scores that we've ever set in Millipede. I'm focusing too much. That means I'm gonna do poorly now. I wish I'd get that big old stag beetle going across the screen, but it seems to always show up at the most inopportune moments, which is almost certainly by design. Ooh, I almost got trapped there. Would have been bad news. It's a good game, actually. You know, it's real crazy. Ooh, got 1,000 points there from the stag beetle. Beautiful. Blew those millipedes up. We're in round 7 already, baby. But yeah, this is a solid game. It's just if you thought Galaga was too much, don't play Millipede because it's a little bit extra, you know. It's more frantic than you could ever imagine. We finally got hit. Not bad though. It took us that long to actually get hit. We should theoretically be able to set ourselves a nice little juicy high score now. If we can just set a new high score every time we go into the game, then hey, you know, that's what we call success. We're not even suffering from success. Oh, we got hit by the ladybug. Disastrous. I got a little too close to it though. I was playing with fire with that ladybug there. Wait, is that an Asian bug or one of the Asian beetles that bites you and is not actually friendly? Because ladybugs, you know, they're not going to do anything bad. Oh, and then I rolled right back into it. First I was like, look at those moves, man. Look at the jukes. And then I just juked back into oblivion. But that is a new high score. So we're keeping that up. There are far too many things. You expect me to keep up with what's going on here? Can't expect any human being to keep up with this. Never mind, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. We've hit double-digit rounds on top of getting the, everything is slowed down, or at least the spiders have. Double-digit rounds on top of, setting the high score. Look at this, we blew the high score out of the water, actually. And there you die, but I still got lives left. I gotta say, even without the trackpad, it performs okay. Obviously, you'll get more precision with trackpad. You'll get more precision with the trackball, but that's kind of that's just obvious, you know. It's like the games where it's like a first-person shooter, and you're like, oh, it operates okay with a controller. Actually, it's like, oh, I'm sure it does, but it would still be probably stronger with the mouse and keyboard. I don't know. I'm at an odd crossroads in my life where I have preferred console gaming now for like the past year. It's just been clicking with me, and I'm like, I do miss a good old mouse and keyboard for a first-person shooter, though. I mean, most console games make it work. Oh, there we go. That's the end. Round 14, though. 72,000 points. We're improving. This is working okay. I'm pretty sure that with most of these games, game type B is just hard mode. You know, you can't pull one over on me now. I've been there. I've done that. I know what your game type B means. It's not actually a super secret enticing game mode that's gonna excite me and delight me. It's just, hey, it's the same thing, but a little bit harder. Or it's the same thing, but we're gonna start you at like round 15 and say, good luck, kid. Therefore gimping your ability to set higher scores. Ooh, look at how quickly we erased that one. I tried to get the stag beetle. I really did. Don't got enough precision in my movement, though. I'm dealing with the spiders a little bit better here. They are definitely the biggest issue, though. They really should just call the game Spider, because that's what your main adversary is here. I mean, who cares about the Millipede at this point, honestly? It's just kind of there for show. I mean, yes, it's true that destroying the Millipede dictates the round, but they don't even really look like a Millipede. You know, they're a little more rounded. You can't really see their legs from their top profile. Very unrealistic game. Would never recommend to anybody. Nah, come on. That was... I'm not sure if that was on me or on the spider. But I'm gonna blame the spider because it's more convenient for me. Hold on. Yeah, I was gonna say, please. I need to destroy that mushroom. Oh, baby. That fly coming down almost got me. Look at what's with all the mushrooms. It was just like, hey, you want to see a million mushrooms grow at the same time? I didn't want it, but the game wanted it. You gotta understand here, this is an incredibly fast-paced game. It's so incredibly easy to just biff it. Yeah, this game without a trackball probably still a little bit better than Arkanoid without the spinner controller. That's a game that you definitely want to have some kind of analog control option for, because just a straight D-pad doesn't quite do it. Look at that. Round 13. Not get the highest of scores, though. It's alright, though. You just focus on staying alive. The points will come to you naturally. It's probably not how you high score chase. You know, I'm willing to bet that you gotta follow a very strict set of parameters and syntax. It's like, hey, if this is happening, then do this. But look at that high score. What did I tell you? I'm a Millipede god. That's why I just died immediately after dying. It said, do we get another extra life at 80,000? Is that what bonus means? It certainly seems like that's what bonus means. Yes, that is what that means. Wonderful. But staying alive remains difficult. Thank you, Ladybug. I think. I don't really know if it did anything good for me or not. At this point, whether I hit the Millipede or not is just kind of like a separate consequence of the gameplay. Like, I'm not going out of my way to hit them. It's just like, hey, you happen to hit one this time. You're really, again, and I've said this before, but you're really battling the spiders. Those are what are really the most immediate threat to you. Wow, I should have died right there. There are a lot of times in old games where I think I should have lived there. Nah, that was the opposite. I'm like, I should have died. Yes! We hit the 6-digit score, which gave us one more life to very briefly waste. Yep, there we go, it's going. But 6 digits. That's what I'm most concerned about. Look at that. Oh, and then it's no longer a life at every 20k. Then it's like, oh, 50k more points, and then we'll give you another life, sucker. That's the difficulty curve for you. Alright, well, hey. It's character development. Player development. That's me playing the game and not saying any words to you, being just the greatest content creator of all time. Unless that's what you prefer. Maybe you prefer if I shut my mouth a little bit more. I don't know. In which case, wouldn't you just watch a long play? And I've told you what I think about long players. Bless them. That was not a rag on the long player at all. You're doing God's work. Providing easy-to-obtain gameplay footage for all. All they ask is just a simple little bit of credit in return. Is that so hard to offer? Jeez. I wanted to get over there, because I had a great opportunity to just erase the Millipede, but, you know, spider. As always. I love when they get stuck in the side like that. They're easy to just wipe out in one quick swoop. Okay. I know, the stag beetle got away. Oh, how did I not die? It's another situation of I should have died, but I didn't. Don't say that these old games never did anything for me. I guess. Easy come, easy go. That's a lot of mushrooms. We gotta get this under control here. Look at that. It's madness. I'd tell you what's going on here, but sometimes with these games, you can't think about the why, just worry about the it is happening. There's probably a much more eloquent way to put that, but I can't spare even 5% brain power to curate that sentence into a better user experience. Or else stuff like that happens. Okay. I shouldn't be alive. It's not a call for help, by the way. I mean, I probably should have lost a life in the game. Right there. Beautiful stuff here. Not that beautiful. I mean, I am missing a couple lives. Just... Dragonfly is ruining me. Classic. It's got that classic arcade, hey, one bullet on screen at a time, kid, kind of thing going on, you know? Which I suppose if it allowed you to just turbo fire everything, there would be absolutely no difficulty. You just hold that fire button down and let her rip, you know? Which would make it the greatest video game of all time. Hey, I appreciate power fantasy games, honestly, I do. Games where you can just, like, destroy everything and there's not the slightest bit of pushback from the game. Yeah, a challenge can be fun, but you ever just be a god? And then there are the games that, like, toy with that concept, and they're like, ooh, but you have a weakness, so that you have to actually play the game. And I'm like, ah, come on! I was having such a good time just being actually unstoppable. You can't just leave well enough alone, right? Like Superman 64, you're having such a great time flying through rings, and then all of a sudden they're like, ooh, sorry, in this level, you can't fly through any more rings, and you're like, wow, you almost had me at the perfect Superman game, and then you have to pull that off. Dude, we have to make it to 60 minutes to lose on N64, just so I can play Superman 64 on this channel. It would all be worth it. New high score, by the way. Continuing to do better every single attempt. That I'm a little upset about. That was incredibly rude, Spider. Oh no! I got very stuck. Couldn't make it to round 18. Try as I may. New high score though. Again, that's all I care about. Ordered some new video games. I always order new video games on the 8th of every month because that's my new credit card statement. Let me see if I can remember from memory what I ordered. I ordered Castlevania 3 because I own Castlevania 1 and 2, so I thought, well, hey, gotta fix that gap there. I ordered Soul Calibur 1. I own 4, 2, and Soul Blade, so again, I was like, hey, give me fill in those gaps, man. Devil May Cry 3. Mario Kart Double Dash, actually, which I have never played. I have never had the opportunity to actually play Double Dash, so I'm excited for that one. I'll be one Mario Kart away from having the entire series then. All I'll be missing is Mario Kart Wii. And that'll be interesting. Forza Horizon 3, Gran Turismo Sport, and... oh, Secret Agent Clank for the PSP. Ordered that as well. And there's a small gap because I also bought a steering wheel mount. Even though I do not yet own a steering wheel. I don't have a steering wheel to use on Gran Turismo Sport just yet. But I do plan on getting one probably in August. I'd love to do it next month in July, but it's my wife's birthday then, so I will definitely have to get her something nice. And whatever money I have left over will certainly not be enough for a Logitech G29, which is, you know, Babby's first steering wheel, but I've actually used it, so I know what I'm getting into if I buy that one, and it's honestly all that I need. I am not deep enough into the sim racing rabbit hole to justify buying a Fanatec or anything like that. I would love one, don't get me wrong, going straight up to the apex of it all, but was it like 1,500 bucks? So you can see why I'd be hesitant to buy that as my first wheel. I was gonna say I don't even have $1,500. That's not true, but that's savings money. We're using that for other stuff, you know. Can't spend every single dime that you make on video games. Much as child me would have said, why not, man? We are not going to set a new high score this time, by the way. This will be our first point of doing worse. That's fine, though. You gotta regress sometimes. Even if we don't beat the top score that we've set, we still made it to 6 digits. I know people who might not ever do that. And that's how I cope. I say, well, oh, did you see that? The way it just zigzagged down the mushrooms to me? Good thing I was gonna say, good thing I hit 40,000 so I get another shot here, but that didn't work so well, did it? Alright, we just keep hopping in, though. But yes, I'm excited to try all the games. I still need to beat Devil May Cry 2, which everyone says it's the worst Devil May Cry by a wide margin, and I believe them. I'll just take their word for it, but at the same time, I'm also gonna play it for myself, you know. I do want to draw my own conclusion. I sincerely doubt that that conclusion will be any different from the masses. But it's as I've said, even not so great games bring me a good amount of pleasure. But first, I gotta beat Mech Assault, and I also really gotta beat Stardew Valley. I gotta finish the community center, because that game has been taking up much of my time. I don't know, man. I just love chipping away at that backlog. It gives me such a nice shot of dopamine every time I beat another game. I'm like, yeah. Oh, that was nasty. That was a brutal pattern I found myself in. Pretty much entirely my fault too. I kind of set myself up for failure there, but that was just... Don't watch that. You don't need to watch that. Yeah, oh, snuck a shot right into that spider before it could kill me. I can't promise you quality gameplay. I don't know what it is that I'm promising you, honestly, but I'm glad that you're here. If you're hearing me say these words, you have my undying appreciation. Unless you do something like murder my family, then maybe my appreciation for you will have finally met its match. I wanted to shoot the ladybug, but as you can see, I just kind of botched it all instead. That's fine. More Millipede, man. I've had worse arcade experiences. Which, I mean, I think I was reading the Wikipedia article, and I think it said that this was like the 4th highest grossing arcade game of the year it came out. I mean, it was obviously hold on, what happened there? Popular and successful enough to get an NES port in the first place, so that's right away, you know, there's something going on there. It's doing something right. That said, the bar for getting a game on the NES wasn't the highest thing ever. The Nintendo seal of quality does not mean the game is good. It just means Nintendo looked at it and said, okay, sure. It's the biggest misnomer that I see. People look at like LJN games, they're like, how did this get the seal of quality? It's like, well, because quality doesn't guarantee being, you know, a quality product. It just guarantees that, hey, Nintendo signed off and said, sure, you can publish this. Which all it really took to publish was just saying, hey, can we pay you the money for the publishing fee? And then they're like, yeah, welcome aboard, man. Just like Steam. Except it's actually it is of course much easier to get a game on Steam than it is to get a game onto a console. But even then, is it purely just money? Could be. This round is a little it's a little horrific right now. Get out of my head, ladybug. The dragonfly! There be too many bugs in this game. It's given Donkey Kong 3 a run for its money. Insert trendy cyberpunk joke here. Game has bugs, am I right? Joke's on you, I love Eurojank games. Dude, Stalker 2 is gonna come out, it's gonna have like a trillion bugs because it's a Stalker game, and everyone's gonna be like, this is the greatest game ever. Or Cyberpunk comes out, it has like a trillion bugs, everyone's like, this is the worst game I've ever played in my life, I want my money back. It's called marketing expectations, man. You hype up your game too much, everyone's gonna be like, wow, well, this is objectively gonna be the greatest game ever because I watched 5 YouTube videos that said this game is gonna be the best game ever, so well, now if it's anything less, it's basically worthless. Too much marketing is what Cyberpunk fell victim to. Why am I here talking about Cyberpunk 2077? Months after it has passed, it's the most beaten dead horse that a YouTuber could bring up right now. Haha, because I am a dead horse. It doesn't even make any sense. There's no basis to say that. That last millipede there, that last little segment is like, you can't get me. I was like, hey, you're right, I can't. So, why don't we just put all this behind us, man? Are we playing as a spaceship or something? Didn't Centipede get like a gritty reboot on the PlayStation 1? I think it did. Along with like Galaga. Come on, I want to make it to 100k again. I'd love to just set a new high score, but that's... It's, we've actually been scoring quite well. To get this high and not even making it to the highest round that we made it to, it's a good sign in a lot of ways. The not good sign is that we do be dying. It's okay. Setting a new high... I was gonna say setting a new high score is very possible, but then I do stuff like that, and it's like... You sure about that, man? Is it really that possible? Okay. It's all my fault. I'll at least be man enough to admit that. No! I couldn't get in there and set the high score. I got close, though. I was grasping at my former greatness. Being in the ballpark, you know, that's not so bad. That's not gonna set you off too much. I feel alright about that. What I really need to order... I have a Game Boy Advance SP, but it's an 001 model. I need a 101, because, boy, let me tell you, the screen on the 001, it is rough. Just trying to play video games on it, it's a difficult endeavor. I knew I would take an L there. I got too greedy, you know? I was like, points? Points? Do I get more points? Okay. Oh, I nearly ate it right there. Dragonfly stage. I am nervous. For good reason. I mean, look at this. They're coming in droves. Okay, Spider, you alright? Spider is alright, it just had to take a break, you know. That one was near the end of its career. It's close to retirement, he had to take a little snooze at the bottom of the screen for a moment. Understandable, you know, he's paid his dues to the company. What we say in the industry there is, rats. You know, like, I'm inconsistent. Sometimes I'll, give you a big ol' grown-up cuss word. Sometimes I'll be like, oh gosh, diddly darn it, you know? I guess that all just depends on how spicy I'm feeling day to day. Hopefully it's not an issue, and if it is, well, I don't know, man. There's a billion other YouTubers. Watch Scott the Woz. He'll give you a nice little censor out of all the dirty words he wants to say. Like piss and frick. Got him. It's always the spiders, man. It's always the spiders. I'm actually surprised that I'm grasping this game as well as I am. I thought that this was going to be a much more pathetic looking episode. This was gonna be one of those where I would leave the "don't watch this episode. It's a terrible" kind of disclaimer on the top, which I have been known to do. I'm like, you don't want this to be your first impression, man. This is gonna be a bad time for everybody involved. Come on, the spiders, the spiders. I was like, hey, I'm getting up there. This could be another high score, and then just like several deaths in a row later. The game reminds you, you can't do that. Exquisite. Exquisite. Yikes. Oh, it's so exquisite. Oh my god. There was too much stuff there. I have another life? It's like one of those terrible, like, gamer graphic tees they would sell at, Walmart. They're like, I don't need a life. I have 50. And I get a new one every 20,000 points. Couldn't even make it to 100k. That one felt harsher than normal. I don't know what was going on there, but I fell behind. There we go. It's okay. I figured it out, I think. The inchworm. The inchworm slows the spiders down, as well as giving you points. Because I just noticed that the second I shot at the spider, slowed down. And that can't just be a coincidence, right? Here, let's test it. Yes, that is absolutely what the case is. We take that opportunity and we roll with it. Use it as an excuse to kill as many spiders as possible. By the way, consider taking your spiders and putting them outside instead of just killing them outright here. I know a lot of people are arachnophobic, but it's very kind to a creature that by all means is just trying to get by. How would you feel if somebody just like smashed their boot against your head while you were trying to panhandle for food in the middle of the city? You'd probably be like, yo, the heck, man, I'm just down on my luck. That's not very helpful at all. You might say, oh, well, I wouldn't be caught dead panhandling. I'd be like, hey, I hope you're right. Not because I would shame you if you had to, but because, you know, I hope that you don't, find yourself in a situation where you are not well off, or at least well enough off to eat. I don't care what you gotta say, I think that the ability to eat should be considered a basic human right. As in, like, something that Okay, I'm gonna get slightly controversial here. Um, there should be like a baseline of nutrition that should just be provided for people. Like, hey, if you need to eat and you need to get by, we can provide this just kind of livable meal plan for you here, and that will keep you afloat. And then if you want to, you know, like spice things up, hey, feel free to go to a grocery store, you know, and get stuff that you want to get. I think that way you're not just saying like, oh, well, not everybody should be able to just have like a filet mignon no matter what. It's like, no, that's not what I'm saying, dude. It's the same thing when I talk about stuff like a universal basic income or something like that. People are like, oh, so you just think that everybody should be handed out PlayStation 5s? I'm like, that's not what I said at all. I mean, a person should have the ability to live, i.e., have a roof over their head, even if it's the most basic roof possible, and then anything beyond the necessities they can earn. I think that that's a very acceptable middle ground there. I'm not saying, hey, everybody who exists, you're gonna get like $70,000 a year, no strings attached. Here you go. No, but I do think that, especially particularly wealthy cultures that can afford to care for their people, which America is absolutely one of them. we have a lot of wealth that can do a lot of things in this country overall. I think that that should be, in turn, turned into methods to care for the other citizens. I don't see why it's all so bad. People are like, oh, where's that money gonna come from? It's like, it'll come from you, dog. Everybody helps each other out. I see people so frequently get so up in a bunch when people talk about taxing the rich, and they're like, oh, well, how's that going to affect me? And it's like, dude, it will never affect you. They're like, oh, so-and-so wants to tax like 60%. It's like, yeah, but you will never in any lifetime come even remarkably close to the amount of wealth that would be taxed that much. I don't know. Some people are like, ooh, taxation is theft. I'm like, nah, man, taxation is necessary. Like, no one likes it. But let's be real, if we didn't have it, we wouldn't really have anything nice at all. People are like, ooh, well, you can count on people to provide services like that. It's like, not out of the goodness of their heart, man. Like, look at yourself and ask yourself, when was the last time I volunteered at a food bank? Probably never. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just creating straw men now, and maybe a Millipede video isn't the place to talk about it. But I just found myself on a tangent, so there we are. Now, if anybody ever asks you where the average Millipede player stands, if you have me as a sample size, there you go. Alright. I'm just kind of resetting my brain here. I had a lot of internal thoughts there, and I was like, how far do I really want to go with this? that kind of tirade will be loved by some people and loathed by other people. I'm like, hey, you know, if you loathe it, that's fine. Really, all I want is healthcare. Give me my healthcare and we'll be fine. Like I was talking about with my wife on the drive home from our dinner today. We were like, dude, if America as a country just like provided healthcare or had any way to provide healthcare, we'd be like a goated country. Because that's what people rag on, like, about the US. Like, the absolute most is like, wow, look at that. You, if you break your arm, you're going to be put into crippling debt. And it's like, yeah, dude, it's sweet. Oh, no, I'm dying here. Want to join? We have very expensive hospitals. Exciting stuff here. I don't know. I've wondered my whole life how such a highly developed first world country can just be so behind the 8 ball on healthcare. Because, again, that's another one of those things that I say counts as, like, kind of a basic human right. Good grief. Oh, no. No! Okay, so it didn't last. I died immediately, but did you see me thread that needle? I know, it probably isn't worth celebrating unless you actually pull something out from it, but yee! I gotta really concentrate on these diagonal dragonflies. They will harsh your mellow big time. Yeah, man, I'm into stoner phrases now. I don't smoke, but you know, I just want to appropriate the culture. I shouldn't be alive, but I am alive. Oh, those were some high fidelity dodges right there, in my very humble opinion. And then just followed it up with trash. That's just my way, though, you know. I do wonder, though, would you impress anybody at the arcade by going like 10 minutes on a single credit on the Millipede machine? Y'all like look over at the girl that you have some interest in. She's not even looking at you because she doesn't care about Millipede. And then you're all like, hey, yo, girl, what if we kissed by the Millipede machine? And then that's how you get the girl. That's the new lyrics to that Taylor Swift song. It's a deep cut, by the way. If you don't know that one, well, clearly you're not a true Swiftie. And if you're watching this channel, you're probably not. The retro gaming community and the Swifties very seldom overlap. Yeah, I got the stag beetle! Oh, no, no. I gotta remember, they like to hit the ground and then pop back up for a quick little murder to you. The spiders, that is what I'm talking about. I suppose I should be more succinct with what I'm saying they about here. Oh, would you believe if I told you I have heard every Taylor Swift song? It's true. I've seen her live, too. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a die-hard Swiftie, although, by all other metric, you may come to that conclusion, and I wouldn't blame you. No, but I'm not gonna come out and, like, defend every single thing she does and be like, wow, she's absolutely brilliant, she can do no wrong, because that's not true. Every artist does wrong at some point, except for High on Fire. High on Fire has never done anything wrong. Arguably the closest thing to a perfect band that I have found so far. Even when you think, ah, oh, new album, okay, this has got to be the one where they finally decide to fall over. Nope. Not so. Even Radiohead, who I think are a very, very consistent band, they have the occasional little black mark, like, you know, the King of Limbs. I don't think it's a bad album, but it was certainly not the same level of quality as the rest of their all-time classics. Oh no, the flowers. The flowers, they're spreading. I tried to get the ladybug. That's a lot of flowers. That's not good. What is going on? Whew. This is absolutely wacky for round 9. Okay, the flowers are now mushrooms. It's the game's way of saying, have a break, brother. But yes, High on Fire are perfect. I'm trying to think of any other bands that might fit the bill. Don't even, like, talk to me about, like, ooh, Pink Floyd. No, not even close. The Final Cut is not perfect. The Endless River is not even, like, within the realm of perfect. Uma Guma is not perfect. No. Get out of here with your hardcore boomer picks. Death is close, but I would say that Spiritual Healing was just a little too weak. Not even to say that it's a bad album, not at all. But compared to Leprosy, Sound of Perseverance, Scream Bloody Gore, doesn't hold a candle to those classics. So that's the only issue that Death runs into, is Spiritual Healing was a weak link. Bolt Thrower actually might be a band that never missed. If we're going to continue talking about death metal at the very least. Swans would be close, if not for the Burning World, which honestly, I don't even think the Burning World is that bad, but I know plenty of other people think it's weak enough to where I'll just sit back and say, all right, fine, you can consider that album weak if you would like, and I will not sit here and debate you too heavily about it. Again, I'm sure that the Venn diagram of Swans fans and NES enthusiasts is just like a completely overlapping circle. But hey, once I get on the topic, I can't just leave it here. And now you've got a bunch of new stuff to listen to. Go listen to Swans, go listen to High on Fire, go listen to Death. Tell me what you think. You'll probably say, wow, this is absolute brilliance, good job. And I'll say, yeah, thanks, I know. I made that conversation up in my head. We have made it past the 100K mark. Somehow, I don't know how. But look at this. We got like no mushrooms either. This is kind of beautiful. How are we managing this? I just had to talk about swans. That's all I've had to do this entire time. And then we die. But that's a new high score, though. Like, that's pretty good. That's just an incredibly rude pattern. The spiders are out of this world right now. Okay. So, I fell apart at the end. But 123,000 new heights. New peaks. Now let's hope we don't see a new valley here. I have never done worse than my very first attempt. We're going to keep it that way, hopefully. And that first attempt was certainly nothing special. That spider came awfully close to making a fool out of me. Nice. Brilliant. I still don't know what that's supposed to say. I still, like, it looks so much like it says DDT. That was something that felt like it should have been immediate death. Didn't time that explosion very well. Be the first to tell you that. Ah, stag beetle was protected by a mushroom. I've circled right back into focusing on the game again. As such, I will probably perform worse. I gotta remember to not go over time, though. This is the game. You can actually get real lost in this game. I am very surprised by how much I'm enjoying this. I saw it, like, up on the schedule, and I was like, it's just an arcade game. But it's a good arcade game, dude. Like, I'm here for Millipede. I died. But that's the first time I've seen 5 extra lives on the side panel at the same time, so hey, there's gotta be something to say there. Like, hey, that's the first time I've seen 5 extra lives. That's probably what you would say. We don't need multiple ladybugs here. The ladybugs, they cause far more trouble than they're worth. Obviously, that's their pure purpose in life. At least in Millipede life. What do ladybugs actually do for the, for, like, ecology as a whole? Ah, couldn't maneuver it through. That's okay. Like, ladybugs have to have their purpose, right? Unlike mosquitoes and wasps, which just exist to be horrible. But ladybugs aren't even, like, horrible, so clearly that's not their purpose. Okay, we got the diagonal dragonflies. I'm alive, I'm still alive. Goodness. Time is flying, actually. This is amazing. Shout out to Millipede. This is a really good game. See, don't just... Now I know, don't just, like, roll my eyes every time I see an arcade game coming up, because it might just be the most fun I've ever had with an arcade game. That's not so good, but it's fine. Ladybug. Okay, we got it. Get the spiders. Dude, I'm in the zone here. I should actually pick this cartridge up for my real NES. It might be good enough to make the cut, honestly. I came in as a doubter, not necessarily a hater, but a definite doubter. And I came out a believer. And then I shot a bug. I'm not gonna sing it, don't worry. I'm just gonna threaten it. Yeah. Oh, no, not the dragonfly. Can I, like, get one more little high score in here? Just, like, sneak one before the end of the episode? Just to become GOAT? No, I can't. Well, I still have a life left. But it's unlikely. Dude, the spiders, they're stacking. I can't even tell where they are anymore. Baby. Yes, I can. I did. I snuck in one last high score. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Makes you feel good, man. The game makes me feel good. Dude. Well, that's game over, but that's just about perfect timing. Yeah. I'm sold. Millipede was super fun. I'm okay. Hey. I'm glad I played it then. Well, geez. Yeah, I'm kind of in a small state of shock, you know? Like, the more in the zone that I got, the more it all started clicking. I think the sheer amount of things you have to dodge and shoot really does play to its strengths. There's a lot that your brain is trying to process at the same time, and there's just a lot of juking. It really does give the feel of, like, a bullet hell game without actually scrolling. Yeah. And Bullet Hell games didn't even really exist when Millipede came out, so I would call it a trailblazer for sure. Very fun. Very surprisingly fun. Next on the docket, when next we meet here, we are going back to the Master System for what I think is going to be a very excellent entry here. A game I have not played, but I have seen much of, and I am very looking forward to trying it out for myself. It is going to be Wonder Boy in Monsterland. So be sure to check that out when that comes out here. Otherwise, if you made it through all 60 episodes of Millipede, leftist rants and all, I applaud you, I congratulate you, and I thank you, above all, for your continued support. So we will see you tomorrow for Wonder Boy in Monsterland. And until then, have a wonderful rest of your day.